This is your host, Jocelyn, with Optimized Media Marketing.
And this is my co-host, Alisha, with Luxury Budget Travels. And you're watching Eugene'sBest.tv.
Today we have the pleasure of introducing and presenting Simon Smith with Key Realty Group, Inc. So thank you for coming in and watching. We're going to start out, Simon, by asking, how long have you been in the realty business?
I have been in the realty business since early of 1994, so this will be going on my 23rd year.
Cool. What made you decide, out of all the things that you've been, done in life, what made you decide to go with real estate?
Let's see, I had a family friend that was a timber investor that did a lot of deals with my parents and other family friends, and he took me out scouting for timber property, and I just really liked the idea of getting out and being out of the office, and real estate instantly grabbed a hold of me, and I fell in love with it right away.
Wow. So you've been doing this for quite some time, and you've had several, you've worked at several different locations or offices, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
How many offices did you work at before you decided to branch out on your own?
I had worked in a Cottage Grove firm originally, where the gentleman did a lot of business. And then I came to a Eugene firm here in town. Found out that Cottage Grove wasn't really the perfect fit for me, that Eugene was going to be much better. And then went to one other firm before starting Key Realty Group in April of 2009.
Wow. And so you've been doing this for 7 years roughly here at your location? When's your anniversary for this, for your business?
Well, it'll be April.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I heard that you're one of the tiger when it comes to selling homes. Can you expand that?
I do specialize in working with sellers. I have a team of agents that work with me, and so I'm kind of the listing specialist, whereas I have Kirsten Danley, who's my buyer specialist, so she only represents buyers, so she can specialize and tailor what she does just to buyers' needs. And then Deb Jarosevich, she is my listing coordinator, and Deb does just about everything that I can do. So in terms of what makes me different as an agent, is I can spend more of my time on marketing the home and really focus in on getting the property sold and getting all the marketing going, because I don't get stuck having to work with buyers.
Right.
And so I have a team built around me to do marketing separately, buyers separately, and then I deal with the listing side, the sellers, all separately.
I'm glad that you said that, because there's a lot of people who are thinking of, if I'm going to hire this agent, will that agent be doing what's my best interest only?
Yeah.
So so
it is true that a lot of agents, once they get a listing, they'll typically put a sign in the yard, and then they hope their phone to ring.
Yeah.
And that's not a good way to sell a home. And I get why they do, because if you have to be all three of those jobs, all as one individual, it gets really hard. And so that's the reason why I have the team, is because you need more people with more specialty, capacities to be able to get all these jobs done.
Right.
So one last question about selling. So if I'm going to list my property with you, are you not going to represent the buyer?
Well, what we do is another thing that makes me different is that if I'm representing you as a seller, I won't represent you and the buyer in the same transaction. And why that's important is because when I work with you as a seller, I understand your motivations. I understand what your bottom line is, how much you owe on your property, every detail about why it is you need to sell. Therefore, if I turn around and work with a buyer, then I have to promise them that I'm going to get them the lowest price, whereas I've just promised the seller that I'm going to get them the highest price. So I always
It's a
felt
little
that
bit of a conflict.
it's a huge conflict. So what I do is I represent, just the seller, and then I have a buyer's specialist, Kirsten, that will represent the buyer's needs. So our files and everything and all communication stays completely separate. So the seller feels like, and they know that they've had, great representation.
It's really important, especially with your number one asset. People they save their entire lives sometimes to get into a house. So it's really important that if you're a seller, that you're getting the most out of your house. And if you're the buyer, you're, able to negotiate that way. And there's no conflict of interest there. I think that's really important. Did you want to add anything, Jocelyn?
Yeah. So I heard that we have a very, very small inventory in the market right now. So if I am going to decide to sell now or maybe later, what will be your best advice?
I would say that inventory numbers last month were at 2 months of inventory is what we have on the market right now. And so, if you are thinking about selling your house and you haven't had it evaluated in the last, let's say, 6 to 12 months, it's a great time because the shortage of inventory that we have right now has really caused properties to drastically increase. So, everybody that is, seen their home decrease over the last 8 years, a lot of that reduction in price has come right back up and maybe even surpassed what you think. So it is a great time to get your house analyzed at least and find out how much it's worth. It might make great sense because we're actually seeing in price ranges below 250,000, we're seeing a lot of competing offers. And so if you can structure the marketing right and get a large number of buyers and exposure all at one time, then it's been fabulous.
I imagine there's probably some bidding wars going on.
Yes, there is. There is indeed.
That'll drive up the price if you set it just right enough to attract the right people. See? So he's pretty knowledgeable, guys. You should come talk to him. Did you have anything more to add if you were to talk to your audience and who's watching here? Anything that you think that is important that they should know about transactions or how your representation is, or just a leaving message, a tip?
Well, the one thing that I wanted to bring up is along the lines of your last question, and that is that I had a referral that I went out and did an analysis on a property, and they were going to hire a different agent, and I actually recommended that they sell the property for $10,000 more than what they were going to list it with. And we actually had 4 offers written in 4 days.
Oh, wow.
And 2 of them were surgeons, and just sold it for $50,000 over the listed price.
Wow.
So, and
pretty
they
good.
had enough cash to make up the difference because, yes, there wasn't a problem with an appraisal, but when you find somebody that has enough cash, you can make it work.
Wow. But I have the last question. So, being local, what is the advantage of hiring locally grown business just like you compared to other bigger companies?
Well, most, if not all, of the franchise companies every agent in those organizations, pay an affiliate fee, and that there's nothing wrong with it, but that money goes outside of Oregon. Whereas when you have a local homegrown company such as Key Realty Group, all the money that we earn from all these agents stays 100% here in town in our community.
That's
really
wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good
What
point.
about the local nonprofit organization? Can you tell us which one do you support?
There,
I heard that you're a fanatic of the Oregon Ducks.
oh, I don't think of that as a nonprofit. Yes, I
Yes.
am passionate about Oregon sports. There's no doubt about that. Oregon basketball, Oregon football. I go with my son to pretty much every single Oregon Duck football game. I think I've been bringing him to every game since he was about 4.
Wow. Yeah. Good.
Rain
dad.
or shine, he shows up in shorts and a t-shirt.
It's the Oregon attire though, right?
Yeah, no, he's amazing. I mean, he shows up and he will sit in a puddle for 5 hours watching a football game and be happy as can be.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Those are memories he'll remember forever.
Yeah.
And memories he created with you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And probably some he'll create with his own kiddos one day.
yeah, indeed.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and now we dance.
Oh,
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank
Take
you for
care.
watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay.